Hey there, Shopping Maniacs. You're listening to another episode of Shop Talk Show podcast all about front end web design and AI, baby. Getting the money. Chris, what's going on? Confirm
AI
or
isn't
click, right?
giving us nothing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to this, just post Thanksgiving special. I hope you made it through your family's stuff.
Yeah.
We'll
Hope
see. Nobody
hope you had
knows.
enough turkey to last a lifetime here. Americans, I guess other places are
hmm
like, why would I eat a turkey? So,
Uh,
and that's a good question. It is kind of
well,
not
it's
a great meat.
wildly popular as a lunch meat, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
for sure. Yeah.
it crushes chicken as a sandwich meat.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody, but obviously chicken is, generally thought of as better. I had a guy propose it I'm throwing Thanksgiving this year. I know
Mm,
this is weird. We're talking about it both past and present, but we're actually recording this the day before Thanksgiving, and it will
yeah.
come out slightly after
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Though he's like, "Why don't we just do chickens?" And I was like, "I don't know why. Everybody prefers chickens. I prefer chicken, but it's the rule. I have to do it. I'm more of a
Yeah.
sentimentalist than I thought, apparently. So we're
Uh,
doing the turkey.
Giving in to Big Pilgrim, Chris.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. We've tried to do the turkeys, like make them ourselves and stuff, and we kind of ejected on that, and we're kind of like Whole Foods,
Oh yeah,
has a little pre-made thing, and
with
like
all of it too, from down to the rolls. They'll give you
yeah, so we're
napkins if
kind
you
of
want.
like,
Right?
hey, let's maybe do that and save ourselves a whole bunch of mess and grumpiness. And my
Yeah.
wife's gonna make the sides though how she wants, because we did it last year and it was kind of like mid-tier sides. That's
Mm,
no one makes
mm.
it like grandma made it, you know what I mean? So
For sure.
um
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
people want is whatever they grew up with. I heard that the other day and I like that. Like however the mashed potatoes were when you're like 10, that's how you want the mashed
that's how you
potatoes
want
now.
it. You don't, but
Yeah.
you're not like, dude, that turkey better be grandpa's
No.
famous basting, Like,
Yeah, yeah, probably not because they
yeah.
probably screwed it up. Like Alton Brown, everybody knows Alton Brown, right? He
Hmm.
dropped like a special turkey episode just not long ago, kind of. And in it, he kind of takes credit for brining turkeys. And I was like,
Okay.
really? You're the first guy, huh? Put a little salt on there, but I believe him because
No.
I mean, he's
No.
got the receipts. Uh,
No.
yeah.
Friggin'
We'll
dude.
see.
20 years ago, we were brining in a garage in Iowa, dude. I've got receipts too. Stupid.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, that's what we're doing. Brian the turkey. Anyway, what's going
My
on here?
I'll give so my stepbrother he's a Iowan. No, but he's a big tailgater. So you go do tailgates, right?
hmm
Part of tailgating is you just kind of go big, right? But he got into the habit of frying turkeys, and he got
Okay.
really good at it. And so
Okay.
he'll like fry a turkey at Thanksgiving when we're up there, and
So
Christmas or
you get a
whatever.
good crust right on the outside. You get it, and only in the time is huge, right? Isn't it what a 20-minute deal or
Oh
whatever?
yeah, like 30, 40 minutes end to end,
Okay.
and like, and it's like really good because it just the whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, vegetarians. The skin like instantly fries, right, and then the insides just kind of keep all the moisture and stuff like that. So anyway, it's super good, but it's like obviously the most dangerous way to cook a bird. You have to be really careful,
Oh no, I see
but
every year. I just saw it the other day.
so
The fire department puts on a big fire suit, and then they dip a frozen turkey into there, and it just makes this like you
yeah,
know tree-sized fireball. And
yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, he's it's but he got really good at it, is what the story is, and so it's like that's like to me a delicacy, but
And if he was
it's
coming,
almost
then you do
yeah,
that.
but it's like forbidden, like I have like turkey frying implements. Or actually, I just gave him to Goodwill, but give somebody else that blessing. But anyway, I just it was like
No,
I
too
don't know.
dangerous.
I don't want to do that. I'm not. Hey, I'll buy somebody's cooked bird. That's fine.
So you're not. That's not your midlife crisis is to get into smoking meat and all this.
It could be, but it's not. No, I
Yeah,
don't need
not yet.
projects, is what I decided, Chris. Like
Right.
I got enough going on in my life. I don't need more projects.
Yeah,
What
fair
you want
enough,
me to
dude.
sit there and babysit meat for 16 hours? Probably not, man.
I sign up for
But
way too much stuff to do. I'm like a sub on the curling club. I
good,
can't.
yeah.
I don't even have time for that. What am I talking about? Like I dreamed of it because I had a lot of fun curling last year and can't
Mm-hmm.
get to it. And then I learned there's this wonderful fairly new clay studio in town. I'm like, oh, I could get a monthly membership to that. That's what I got my degree in. I'm totally nostalgic and miss working with clay. I should
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, right. When, for example, are you going to do that, Chris? Do you have an
Yeah.
idea?
When you gonna do that? Did you figure that?
Right.
Yeah. No.
Well,
I
because I
mean,
already harbor some guilt, because obviously I play the banjo and stuff, and that takes up some of my time. And, Wednesday nights I play down at the cellar and Bend, and it's like I already have some guilt there, not because I do it too much, but because I should be practicing. I should be like pushing myself to get better at that hobby, which
yeah.
I extract actual like life value out of and love. And it's like, dude, if I'm not finding time to practice something that I already love, like smashing more onto it, probably not the way.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. Although, here's what I do think I would like about smoking is if
Okay, let's go.
you make a brisket, right? Especially here in Texas. But if you make a brisket,
Hmm.
right? And you're probably getting both sides of it. So you're going to have two briskets, right? Why smoke meat for 16 hours if you're going to do one,
Yeah,
right? You might
one
as well
cent.
do like like four halves,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever. Or like go big, right? I think like there is social value in being the guy who has brisket. Does that make sense? Like, hey,
Oh my God,
I
yeah. I would
smoked
I would give
brisket.
you the
Come
most
over.
social value.
You
Yeah,
know, like,
come over.
oh,
I would be there instantly. Or even if you went the extra mile, like you were trying to make friends, and you came to my house with like 3 pounds of smoked brisket, I'd be like, I don't know how do you move up contacts on the list, but you'd
yeah.
be moved way
Oh,
the hell up.
and not that I'm like, oh God, I gotta move up the rank in my neighborhood in my friend group. I'm not doing that, but
Yeah.
I like that act of giving, like because whenever somebody's like, dude, we made too much roast pork. My friend Zach does this, it's like
Hmm.
whenever we made too much roast pork, dude, like I just have to give it to somebody, and it's like, okay, I
Yeah.
guess I'll take a pound of like this delicious Hawaiian pork, like
Yeah,
it's
like,
like,
yeah, that's the best
yeah,
day of my life. Thank you. I get it though. It's like, it's part of the reason I have a truck is so that people can borrow it. I know
yeah,
that's weird,
yeah,
be weird, but I like being useful. Part of
yeah.
my
That
value system.
no, I think that's like exactly sort of the like, yeah, like it would, the intent would be to like always have some to whatever, feed my family because dude, I eat the most boring lunches you can imagine, dude. It's like chicken, rice bowl every day, 5 days a week. Like wouldn't it be cool to spice this up? And like actually, maybe I told this story on the podcast, but I was in the airport and this one guy was trying to like, he was like a keto evangelist or something, dude. He was like telling me like he was like, you got to get a green egg. Like we strangers sat down at the
Yeah.
table I was eating like a slice of airport pizza at, and he's like, you got it. Usually I eat only beef. It's like, okay. He's like,
So you're both not being keto at all at the
no.
moment.
Well, maybe he got barbecue from the place across the street. Anyway,
Maybe.
or the hall. But anyway, he like, we're just talking, but he's just like, yeah, dude, I like smoke like a whole thing of brisket every week, a whole side of a cow, and I have all this meat, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, it was
Amazing.
like intense, but I was just like, I bet you're very popular. Like you have the meats. You got the meats. You're like Arby's.
Probably.
You
I
got the
got
meats.
two green egg guys in my life, and that they both approach it in slightly different ways. But I am you can technology it up, which does appeal to
Hmm.
me. I have to admit, you can get the phone app essentially telling you what to do and stuff. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
could
I
do
could be a
that.
green egg guy. I
I
could
could
be a
do
green
that. I
egg
could
guy.
do green egg for dummies. Yeah, I have a green
But I
egg.
would get it. I know what would happen, dude. I would buy it like January 17th, right? And there's nothing going on. And I
Yeah.
would use it so hard. And every week I'd be a meat guy for a minute. But then
Hmm.
like, I don't know, a conference would come up or a family trip or something, right? And
Hmm.
then so you're not doing it that week. And then you come back, and then you're like scrambling a little bit to get your life back. So you're not doing it that week either. And then pretty soon, your green egg is just in the corner doing nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
rusting.
like
Yeah.
you go hard on it for a minute, and you're like, I think I'm a green egg guy, and then it turns out it doesn't fit into your life how you want it to.
As you expected, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's it. Like, I think I could, it's that, what is, it's like this image of yourself you have. Like, I could be that guy. I could be
Mm-hmm.
that guy, you know? And then you're like,
Yeah.
and then, but hey, I would fall apart
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks. I get 2 weeks, maybe, like, and
Yeah.
it's not,
I
I
like
don't,
you trying on, it's like when you get a new strong opinion, you're like, I'm going to try that on, like a new pair of pants. See how it
yeah.
goes publicly, Maybe I'll have a new little opinion that I go with for a little
Oh,
while,
my wife got me those Japanese carpenter pants. They're kind of like, look a
Mm,
little bit like Jinkos, because they're like straight legged
okay.
and big,
Yeah.
big ankled. Uh,
Mm,
I could be this guy, dude. I could
yeah.
be a Japan fashion man, but
Yeah, you're gonna.
I don't think it sells here. I don't think
Okay.
it's super comfortable though. Anyway,
Okay,
uh,
you could be that guy, I was trying to be the guy who says roar, I was trying to bring roar back,
all
but
right.
I don't think I'm ready. I'm a little too old for catchphrases.
Yeah. No, it's hard to win, man. Hard to, you know,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, not. Yeah, you got choices in life, though. You could be a
Yeah.
CSS guy. You could be a React guy. We could bring it back to the web.
We could.
Yeah.
Here's a website that because I appreciate you like calling out a few things that happen in our Discord quite a bit, but I play it most days and I'm so embarrassed.
Clues
Cluesbysam.com.
by Sam. Yeah.
Just a great game. It is
Mm-hmm.
very hard.
Oh,
I
yeah.
find it is not a quick little like God. If I spend enough time on this, or it's not Wordle, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
But our Discord, because only the smart people post in there, of course,
yeah.
are like 5 minutes, and I'm like, get out of here. Even on Monday, it takes me 10, 15, and it gets harder throughout the week. By Sunday, it's just not happening. Like I would have to just make a clicker that just clicks at them all, and totally not care if you're wrong. So here's the deal: what is it, 4x5 grid of all these
Hmm.
different names, and they all have a different job, so they all have a different emoji. Like a coder is going to have a little computer in front of him, and a pilot looks like a little pilot, whatever.
Yeah.
And so you get one clue, and it's like Leo has an odd number of innocent neighbors or whatever. So everybody on the board is either criminal or innocent, and you got to figure it out with the clues. But
Hmm.
it doesn't let you, and I appreciate this because I'm watching Cryptic.
Cracking
I
the
haven't watched
cryptic.
Cracking the Cryptic. In that show, they will never guess.
Hmm.
But they will never guess just by their own like decree. You know, they could guess if they wanted to, but they never do. They will not click or put in a clue unless it has been logically deducted. In Clues by Sam, it doesn't let you guess. You can't guess. You have to click on a character and then click criminal or innocent, and it will only let you pick the correct answer if there's enough logic on the board to figure it out, which is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Well, and it'll rat you out too. Like if you did guess, it'll like be like, yeah, you got that yellow, like
Right.
you
So
were
then
kind
later,
of,
like in Wordle, you'd share with your
yeah,
friends the green dots or how good you did. Clues by Sam does the same thing. That's what ends up in the Discord is people's
yeah.
final copy and paste thing. And then if you get a full green slate, that means you solved the puzzle in the time and you didn't guess once. You got it all
Hmm.
right. And then you'll get a little yellow dot if you clicked that person, but you guessed and you got it wrong.
Hmm.
Yeah, totally rats you out. Totally rats you
Yeah.
out.
Which is fun. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's like sometimes it's like all innocents around Kevin are not to the left of the pilots or something, and you're just sitting there like cross-eyed, like what is happening, and
Right,
I
right,
usually
right.
have a flub once a day. That's why I don't post my scores because it's usually
Mm,
like
pretty
all
embarrassing.
innocents next to Jeff are guilty, or I don't.
Dude,
That's
it's only Wednesday and I published mine today and got
not
eight
not the
wrong.
best one. Yeah. Not your
But
best,
even
but
finishing it to me is the problem is I often have like the best mental energy for it right in the morning, and
hmm
I have a sense of guilt because I usually use that time to do some like very deep thinking work or writing that requires my best brain, and I
hmm
sort of feel like I'm burning it on Clues by Sam if I do it.
Yeah, I had to push it to it's a trade. It's either I'm doing puzzles in the morning for 30 minutes, like because I have
Hmm.
the whole circuit I gotta do. It's almost like a whole Mario Kart circuit, you know.
What's the
I got
circuit? Just do it real quick. Is
Clues
Wordle
by
still on
Sam,
it?
Inkwell Stars, Inkwell Fields,
Fields,
and
yeah.
then the new tiled words is the other one, and then
Tiled. Okay, so
tiled words.
you're big
Yeah,
inkwell all day.
two inkwells, but I'm getting pretty good at those, so they go pretty
Yeah,
quick.
no
But
New York Times. You don't even go there.
NYT, dude, I think this part of the reason I go indie is because NYT kind of really burns you or like entraps you, and then you're like getting ads and
Hmm.
upsells and all this stuff and stuff. Yeah, I kind of just gave up on NYT, and then they made the minis sub only or whatever, or you can only do the daily or something. But anyway,
Mm,
I could get down in college. It was Will Short's big crossword every day. You know, it was like
okay,
that's what
okay.
we as my like 20-person group, that's what we did, you know. Like I have
I've
vivid
seen
memories
a
of college, like 8 people doing the crossword at a
yeah.
table, you
That's
know. So
nice. Good
yeah.
for you. Using your brain in college.
Well,
Incredible.
we did some, we traded, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was not a that
That's
was
how you earn your natty ice is by finishing the crossword.
well, that's how I got a C in calculus. That's how that happened.
I see.
So
I see.
yeah,
You trade brain for brain.
yeah,
So okay. I do feel like they should invite us to do CSS riffing on Clues by Sam. That's number one
yeah.
because
Okay.
it's Comic Sans. It's not like I hate all the design, but I do feel like it's underserved. There's like some issues with it
Mm-hmm.
that, like for example, like you click a clue that relates to two other names in it, and it highlights the names, but like so barely. Like barely. It bolds the already bold a little more bolder. Like, did you even know that was a thing?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not good enough.
Well, yeah. Or it's like this person is indicated in clue, but it's usually like no person around. Susan is. And so it's like I don't care about Susan. Like
I care about the people
or like
around Susan. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, I wish it could like tie those two together thematically. Like the orange clue points to Orange Susan or something.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, there is some UI stuff I wish I could like do.
It would definitely help me because I use the earmarking too. Not that you should listen to me because I
hmm
absolutely suck at this game, but I'm trying.
Yeah,
That I'll like you can right click if you're on your computer. On your phone, I don't know what you
it's
got. Maybe
tap
a
the
long
corner,
press.
tap the
Oh, tap
corner.
the corner. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'll oftentimes just do two. Like
hmm
this, if I mark two and they're the same color, that means it's a one or the other situation. It's one of each.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's often it's a lot more complicated than that. And certainly by Thursday, your one clue is never enough. You're
hmm
to figure it out. You're like you got to reference three clues, and your brain is on fire. And there's a lot of bifurcation. That's a word that Cracking the Cryptic also used, which is like if this was this, let me chase that down. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Let me go
how,
down that tree, right? Like, let
yeah, and then
me.
if you invalidate that tree, then you know that's not right, and maybe that is enough to do the answer. Or you got to bifurcating means two, but
Split. Yeah.
split, it could be three, four ways. Then you got to go down the second way and see if that. And if there's only one way, then that's the right way. But it's very hard to keep in your head, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it really is. That's what I like about it. I don't know. It has back to like the like could I be this? It does have this like I could be a friggin' investigator, dude. Like APD call me, bro. I have a neighbor who's like a literal detective.
huh.
I'm sure he's just like this is stupid. But anyway, but then
Sure.
it's like I'll accidentally misread something and then like guess somebody's a criminal and they're wrong and then I have like a like oh no, I'm a bad cop. Like, I have a whole like thing like wash over me, like a guilt, like I have, betrayed society. But
Yeah, right. When you mark
um,
somebody as criminal who's innocent, that's rough. You know,
well,
they
but
don't
yeah,
play.
I don't know. It's weird how like much of a like I am exposing a real crime ring right now. Like in my brain. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but
It does transfer over to not a. I have seen a couple of Clues by Sam solvers on YouTube who invented their whole overlay system for explaining the logic that they're doing. There's just not enough built into the game to use the game itself to explain your thinking. So
hmm
they they have a whole elaborate system of arrows and crap to figure it out.
yeah.
There's another guy, Northern Lion, he's a little, well, I don't know how to describe him, a little spicy or something on YouTube,
hmm
who does the rounds but his rounds are like 15 games. If you
Oh,
want to invent your rounds, you can do it. And I saw one where he added Clues by Sam to it, and he's so smart. He's so good at all these games, and Clues by Sam just decimated him.
oh,
He just,
really?
yeah, he was wiped out, you know?
That's beautiful. That makes me feel
Yeah,
good. Like somebody who's
yeah,
like a literal friggin' gamer for, like puzzle gamer for a living is like
yeah.
has a tough time.
One of
It's
them was like, look at all these hashtags on a Wikipedia article, and there's usually like a lot, like
hmm
50. And like, is that enough? Can you reason out by the tags what the Wikipedia article is?
hmm
I found that extraordinarily hard as
Ooh,
well. Like, I just
interesting.
don't know enough about literally everything in the world, because that's the topic of Wikipedia.
Is everything? How good are you at everything? That one I could get down on. I think that's like trivia to me, though. It's
Right.
trivia. Like being good at Jeopardy doesn't mean you're smart. It just means like
You
you
know a
have a
little bit about
brain.
everything.
You have a brain that just kind of has these like factoids kind of squirreled
Right.
away, and you can like kind of like be like, oh yeah, that's the
I think that's the great irony
Franz
of Jeopardy.
Ferdinand, or whatever. Like you're
Sure.
just
Like
yeah
if you know a little bit about whatever the topic is on Jeopardy, the questions are easy.
yeah.
I don't feel like they don't go, that's the hitch with Jeopardy is that they sound hard, but it's because you don't know anything about 17th century plays or whatever.
Right, right.
But if you know
This
a little bit about 17th century plays, the answer will be whatever the most popular 17th century play is.
right. Like this was the 15th prime minister of Azerbaijan, and you'd be like, I don't got it.
Yeah.
Like just some random dude in the stack rank, like name the 23rd president, or you're like,
But that's the
I
genius of it, because
yeah.
even your dumb uncle can walk by the TV, and if he just happens to know a little bit about like quarterbacks in the '80s, he'll get it
hmm
right, and then he'll feel smart for a second, and then that gives you the little dopamine. It's like the dopamine of the '80s or whatever.
I do feel like yes, cars and sports stats are that for men, like
Mm.
manly men, like just having like this knowledge of like cars, makes, models, engines, and then like
Yeah,
players,
yeah,
sports, and and
totally. Remember
fantasy
when
football
that
stuff.
one game where
So
Dallas fumbled it on the one, and the guy was supposed to fall on it?
yeah,
Yeah.
they just like it's like the lore, it's like the
Hmm. Hmm.
and I don't know. I had this thought. So I've been again thinking. This is a fun episode to me. Hey, if you if you guys want websites, sorry. Um,
Sorry.
I've been getting into like watching or learning about uh, alternate Dungeons and Dragons systems, right? So there's D&D, which is by Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast, or is that the Magic the Gathering people? What's
I
Magic
think
the
they
Gathering?
bought it. They
They
bought it
bought
though.
it, right?
TSR used to be the company behind
TSR.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it used to be like Gary Gygax and what, but yeah, I think
yeah,
Wizards of the Coast owns it now, but or from Hasbro or something. Anyway, but D&D like is a system, and it's on 5e. There's like a 6, I think, coming out, or 5.5 or something. But
which is like the rule set, right?
it's the rule set. It's like here's how many points this thing has. Here's how many a monster has this many points or whatever. And it's kind of like stats the game. It's math the game. You know, it's actually based on like these weird military
Mm.
sims too. Like, you know, basically like, how much damage can you do to a Navy ship and it's heading and bearing 8.25 or what, you know, it's all that crap. But there's been this sort of renaissance for these kind of homebrew makes, like, and so there's one, you know, we played here last year, Lasers and Feelings, right? Like a little one shot
Mm-hmm.
adventure.
Yep. Amazing. Go back and listen to that, everybody. Very fun.
There's this other one called OSR, which is old school role playing, which is kind of based on the original versions, like the one pager versions of D&D, you know, like kind of these just
Interesting.
really simple rule sets, you know, like you maybe don't get the full mechanics, but like you get the basics, right? And so like, and Knave is one of those, and then you can kind of adopt this and adapt this into different games as well, you know, like you can kind of change, I don't know, for lack of a better term, you can kind of like take this system and morph it into your own thing, because they're kind of this old school role playing, and you can build a module and one, you know, and your crew is kind of in and out. It's not a go on forever game, right? You know, I've got
So
this
that's a
one
different alternate rule set that somebody made
alternate
up
rule
because
set.
they like the old schoolness or some
Yeah,
other
they were
aspect
just
of it.
like, man, can we just make this easier? This is so much, you know, like, you know, and when you play the same game over and over and it's the same math the game and you're doing the same fight, it can kind of feel just the same. There's another one called Blades in the Dark. You know, it works a little bit different. You know, like your players take on stress. I've got this one called Monster of the Week, which is kind of based on like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know, basically like you're like
Hmm.
you know, a kid with superpowers in your neighborhood and vampires are attacking or whatever.
Okay,
But
so a random monster shows up, but does it also reset the next week? Like if you
yeah,
found like
basically,
some
yeah.
magical rope or whatever, you don't have the magical rope next week because
Yeah, basically it's like a full reset. Or maybe
yeah.
you have like a seasonal arc kind of thing, but yeah, it'd be basically be like, you know, your character would be there, but characters can also die in these, like kind of D&D famously sort of, I don't know, the goal is to make your character go up to level infinity, right? Level 70, you know, super big, powerful wizard. Like these games are kind of more like your characters are expendable, like, or or like, you know, play fast and loose, like your character will
Okay.
like I think in Blades of the Dark it's like one of the rules, or in the guide it's like you will probably die, like play this like a roller coaster, don't play this like a, you know, we're being the safest thing, you know, play it like you're on a roller coaster, you know. And then I've been getting in, so Monster of the Week is kind of this theme of like, you know, TV tropes and stuff like that. But then I've been getting into this one called Mothership, and I've been learning about it. But it's basically based on sci-fi tropes, like, you know, you visit a mining colony and there's
Okay.
like somebody's dead, and you know, like you have to
What, you
investigate
can go
that.
sci-fi with D&D? I didn't
Yes.
even know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Well, and there's this other one called Pathfinder that's kind of more sci-fi too. You can actually do sci-fi D&D too, but straight up. But and then, you know, anyway, this is a long story here. But been getting into Mothership, and I'm like, dude, I think I want to do this. I think I want to like get people and do D&D, you know, and lead a campaign maybe, and you know,
Yeah. Okay.
and but then I started thinking like, do I like D&D, Chris, or do I love systems? Does that, like, do I just am I just attracted to the system, you know? Like,
I don't think so. And I'll tell you why.
okay.
I don't think you like both, of course, because of course you have to like both a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think you like D&D because systems are like the computer version of D&D that can't be messed with. Because
Hmm.
like maybe you like systems a little bit, but that was always the thing that always kind of pushed me away from D&D. I hate to say it, but the arbitrariness of having um, just like a what do they call it, the DM, you know, the
Yeah,
dungeon
yeah.
master can kind is just all powerful and they can just do whatever you want, and it's basically a piece of paper in front of you that represents your damn character. And I know there's lots of rules, there's rules for days, that's what you're talking
Hmm.
about, these rule sets, but if you really wanted some magic rope, you can kind of just write magic rope on the piece of paper. or you could write +2 sword of whatever. And especially if you went from a group to group and they said bring your character or something, there's something that bothered me about that. That is not a system.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too arbitrary, and that's okay because what you're actually doing is you like the story, you like the decision making, you like the jokes, you like the camaraderie, you like the role playing, you like. There's a million things to like about it, but it's much more loosey goosey than a computer game would be. And that if you loved systems the most, you'd probably like the computer versions the most of
Yeah.
D&D like things or anything else. And I know you're a gamer to some degree, but you like this
But
a lot.
yeah, yeah. I don't like play the like whatever. I don't even play like
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gates. Like I don't
Yeah.
even do those. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
That
maybe
appeals to
you're
me
right.
more somehow because everybody is like enforced. You like these rules are not. There's no twisting the rules. The rules are these rules.
I love
And
rules. No, that's good. I think you clocked me good too. I do like the group storytelling aspect of it. I like the improv kind of, like,
yeah,
then I pulled out a whatever, kind of the against the rules, but whatever. And then I pulled out my secret, Blastomatic 5000. And it's like, oh, yes. And we have to,
and
like,
basically the DM winks at you, right? Because they could shut that down if it would ruin the story or something. But if
totally.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
like it, they'll just kind of whatever,
Yeah.
for lack
Like,
of a better term, wink at you, and it's cool, right?
reward creativity. Yeah,
Yeah.
you might even get like a inspiration point or whatever, like where it, like can give you an extra dice roll to like help you in a later roll that you failed. But I think what I like about these kind of alternate systems too is just this idea of consequences. I don't know, like you know maybe that's politics seeping in, but I like the idea of consequences. Just this idea of like, dude, you did bad. Like you did, like you did very bad. And, I mean, luck is luck, dude. And so now you're dead or you are dying, or,
Yeah.
like,
That's interesting. I like that you mentioned that because that is a thing that like if you're sitting there, in a way you can play it safe a little bit, but not all the way. Like you cannot get to the end of a story if you just like never do anything in D&D.
yeah.
You can't go to your friend's house and be like, "Well, my character decides to stay home and eat celery or whatever." Like that's
Mhm.
not a thing. It's got to be you got to do stuff, and while you're doing stuff, you can roll a 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that can be a way you play video games because nobody cares how you play video games, especially if you're playing by yourself. You can play it so safe all the time, and you're
Hmm.
never in any danger because all you do is fight the rats over and over until you have a strong enough shield to move up to kobolds or whatever it is. And
Right.
I like that you're forced into danger in D&D. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like forced encounters. And that's like, the videos or whatever I've been watching are very into like, okay, like here's, just the system actually is more about like, if they go and they're playing it safe and they all go together into the big room, like then you like set a timer on this other guy to like be more threatening, and so but I'll even say like in my experience of running that D&D for our group
Okay.
on the show, dude, lots of brain power. That was a lot of neuronic energy being expended. So I think it would be
Yeah.
hard to do that on a weekly basis. But I think also maybe if I had a weekly basis, I could like take it slower, and I could also kind of plan it. So I don't know. Maybe that's something I'm going to do. But it's just this like
I
I don't
have
know.
to imagine it gets better over time because I felt weird about it because I never ever do this stuff and I didn't know how to help it. I feel like some of the things I did maybe hurt it and I didn't understand, but I don't, but just out of
I,
ignorance, you know?
oh, I think that's part of it too. I think like does I think not everyone has to be a I play D&D every week kind of person. I think it's just again it's like that group
Mm.
storytelling thing. It's just kind of like what can you bring something to the table? And sometimes the failures are the story. I think like this one game, Mothership, it's actually your stats aren't good. And so like that forces things to happen. You know, it's like,
Mm.
okay, I'm going to hack the power system. It's like, blurp, you knocked out the power of the whole station. You can't see anything. No one can see anything. Now, you know,
Ooh.
like, so like the danger kind of gets closer, you know? So anyway.
Yeah. Fun.
And like, you know, it's in space. So you got a lot of things like can't shoot a gun on a space station. Sorry, you'll poke a hole in it. You know, like what do? You know, stuff like that. So that's kind of fun to think about. So
when's your next one coming up? So.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to do. I don't know. It'd be fun to do like a for private one. You know. But it would also be fun to do like an online one. You get the band back together and do like a longer campaign of some kind. You know, like that would be kind of fun. But I just don't know if like again, that's time. Your time is the enemy there, right? So,
Right.
Yeah.
So your friend is retirement. We got to get there.
How to retire
Yeah.
early in fire in that book about fire.
Yeah.
Is it like you want to play D&D with your friends all day? You know. So, how cool would that be though if I did like go to old folks' home and I'm just like, okay, gentlemen.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play this for 9 hours a day. No, that's funny. College part 2. That's what old folks home is. Don't let anyone.
It's these responsibilities that kill us. We got young kids. We got a certain life we've crafted, and we're trapped into it. And that's just the way it is for a while. And then everybody gets older, and they're like, "Why did I live like that?" And you're like, "Well, because because I raised some kids. So give me a break."
I admire people who rope their kids into this stuff and they use them as the outlet. You know, like they're like, "No, we're playing D. I'm gonna get your friends over here. We'll play D&D." You know. I feel like I could be that guy, but I don't want to force it. That's the thing. Like,
right.
I can't force it. So
yeah, I want Ruby to play the fiddle. Will she? Absolutely not. You know, if I force it, especially not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we have a couple of web things we can do.
Websites.
One of them is I saw you mention it was Thomas Steiner, right? Have you been on the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
He works on AI at one that's built into Chrome, like those APIs, which are
I
interesting.
think he's kind of web AI at Chrome. He came on the show to talk about it.
But he's been at Google forever.
He's at Google forever.
So he knows lots of stuff. Anyway, he was at a conference recently, I think, and he was hanging out with people from Interledger. So when Coil folded, I'm going to do web monetization. #.
Yes,
we're going to put up the card.
Dude.
And I weirdly feel more strongly than I should about this. I was almost going to pitch you at one point. I'm like, can we do like, not pivot the show entirely, but like a long series talking with everybody like about web monetization. Make it like almost like a documentary about web monetization. Yeah. The problem is it doesn't really have an ending yet because every time it gets somewhere, it doesn't, you know? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's the prequel to what I'm talking about. But Coil was cool because they seemed like good people. The idea seemed to have its heart in the right place, and it seemed to get some momentum, and then it just didn't. But it stuck around for a while, and probably a lot of this can be traced back to the work that they did. So it wasn't even that much, or it didn't feel like it. Like it was a browser extension. You had to have the browser extension. You put it in your browser. You hook up the web extension to an online wallet. I don't think Coil even was the wallet. They didn't even go there. It was like, use some other wallet. And they supported a bunch of wallets.
It was some very bad website you had to use. I forget what it was.
Right.
Yeah,
And so these online wallets are whatever. It's everybody's startup. There's literally a million of them, including big names like Coinbase and stuff, right? You can have a Coinbase wallet, which is totally different than having a Coinbase account. This is a whole different thing. And these wallets attach to your Coinbase, but they also attach to other crypto marketplacey things and just like your bank. They'll take USD. So this isn't necessarily a crypto thing. It's crypto adjacent because crypto's just is involved with this thing. But I don't give a crap about crypto, to my detriment, probably. Like I'm turned off by it. I finally was like burned enough by it that, do I still have a tiny bit of jealousy of these nerds that got in early and paid for their house based on their Bitcoin earnings? Yeah, I'm a little jealous. I want a big, nice house too. But I don't, and I'm pissed at crypto, and I think it's stupid. So I am interested in USD for now. Like that seems just whatever. So okay, that was a tangent. But Coil doesn't exist anymore.
Just to bring it home,
Yeah.
crypto's down 25% in the last month.
Dude, you gotta zoom out, baby.
You gotta zoom out, and it was super up. But like, so if you would have got in, just said, finally, I'm doing it, you'd be down 25% this month, but then you'd be like up 3% for today. So I just can't build my life on that. That's, like maybe that's a risk aversion thing, but yeah.
And just putting your money in it probably isn't too risky, but it's always fraud adjacent that I don't like.
Oh yeah, for sure. The trades. Sorry, maybe I don't know enough, but the trades happening are not because like, gosh, what a great asset that's backed by real life. It's a like, oh, this government knows how to launder its money. So that's the power. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Coil doesn't exist anymore, and they gave their technology or their next iteration of life. I don't know exactly how it works, hence me wanting to talk to all these people. They said, like, but keep your eye on Interledger. Interledger is like the actual foundation that is built up around the idea of web monetization. And as far as I know, hold the torch for it now. And they still there's people involved, whether they get paid to work there or not. I don't even know how it all works. But Interledger is like let's call it a company around it for now. They also have a browser extension, right? So they either just took Coils or they made their own or something. So you still need the stupid browser extension. We are gunning for a future where you don't need the browser extension because all it does is essentially polyfill stuff that you would put in your HTML. And you put precious little in your HTML. It is a freaking link tag that points to a wallet online. It points to one of these wallets anywhere. That's it, Dave. That's how you do web monetization. Not really, but kind of, right?
Well, if you
that is enough information for somebody who has this browser extension, and I hook up my wallet to the website's wallet, and now there's a connection. The website can't just take money out of my wallet. I have to choose to give money to the website's wallet. And I can do so totally anonymously because that's just a thing with crypto. But what's kind of cool about that is maybe I could buy some socks with USD, by the way, and then they send me some socks, and during that transaction, perhaps I didn't even give them my email address. They don't even know what my name is. I mean, they got to mail me some socks. So at some point they're going to see about me. But if it's I want to ask to not have ads on this website, you don't need anything at all from me. Nothing. And if I visit and I use a different browser, but I'm still attached to that same wallet, there's JavaScript APIs behind all this. They just know, oh, that's the wallet that gave me $3. So I don't serve ads to that website. That's what we're talking about here, is a way for users to give money to websites with just a little HTML and JavaScript APIs. That's what we're talking about here. It's very interesting. So Interledger's got it, and this all still works. I thought this kind of died with Coil, but it is alive and well-ish, right?
Yeah.
So I give the thing a shot because I'm like, I'll get back to the Coil days. That sounds fun. I install the browser extension and I hook it up. And I'm reading Thomas's post here. That's what got it. Now, I know you read it too because I think you responded to the thing. This browser extension hooks up to just 3 wallets. You have to pick one.
Okay.
And I just picked the same one that Thomas did because it supported USD, and I think that's fine. It was called GateHub. So I signed up for a Gate. But these websites, Dave, they look sketch. They look like AI coded it. There's all kinds of hoops you got to jump through, and you're unsure whether the hoop jumping, which involves stuff like, scanning your driver's license and stuff like that. But I've done this enough that it looked fine. Thomas did it, whatever. So it took me some time, but I finally get approved to have a GateHub account. And then I want to put $5 in it. Because then that'll be like Coil. I'll be sprinkling out the $5 to the sites I visit that are signed up to receive it, which precious few are. But it's I'm willing to be on the front lines here,
Yeah.
Anyway, you can't put USD in it. It's all broke. They don't have their USD machine hooked up in there. So I think Thomas got some euros into his somehow, but no, that doesn't work. So I'm like, oh, I'll use a different wallet. They support two more, Interledger Zone, and I was like, oh, I should have used that to begin with. Good job,
Yeah,
Interledger. I'll use your wallet. Nah, they don't support the U.S. or the U.K. Just I don't know where they accept, but geographically, the U.S. is out. No
they are not.
Interledger in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, weird, huh?
So then there's this other one, Chimmoney or something, which
Shy
I didn't know
money,
anything.
shy money, dude.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's CHI money, right? It's got to be
Right.
shy money because that
Probably
sounds
it's shy
like
money.
a rapper slash drug dealer from Chicago who's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you gotta talk to shy money." Yeah,
And their website looks very AI created, and they don't have a website. You can only use an iOS app or whatever. And I was like, oh, no, I kind of get it, whatever. But like, I'm doing this for webby reasons. Like,
mm-hmm.
I want buy-in on web technology, and the fact that you don't even do web anything makes me be like, I don't want to mess with you. So I'm out. There's 3 wallets, none of them work for USD, and that's where we're at on this.
Bro.
Thomas got his working with euros, and apparently it works. But I found the UX and the support around all this very, very lacking. But the part that's encouraging is that there is some, like, I don't know if it's flagged or what, but there's code in Chromium now that has this stuff working.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
is forward progress, and of course, who's involved? Brian Cardell's company and whatever.
Igalia,
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of,
yeah.
and I think they were, if I'm not, like, I think Interledger was like, can we build this into? So this is, sort of like, can, uh, uh, like when Bloomberg was like, Igalia, can you make grid in CSS? Like I
It's
think it's
just like that.
like one of those sort of situations. It's like, and I'll be, like, so I'm very curious about why these wallets don't work. Like, that gives like the scamometer goes very high, like if we
Do
can't
they
use
not want in
US
on
dollars.
this? Because there's a zillion wallets. There really are. So why do they not? Why does this browser extension not support them all? Can
Hmm.
you Is it hard? Maybe.
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
Or do
That's,
these wallets be like, no, I don't want in on your sketchy, weird web monetization thing.
but if this was, sound like a AI booster, but like, if this was 20 years ago and you're like, just sign up for PayPal and hook it up to your website, people would be like, what? Banks don't have names like PayPal. They have names like Bank of America and Washington Bank,
Yeah.
Washington Mutual. Like, I think like, but I am so bullish on this. I just, I do have questions though. I do like, so I'll tell you why I'm bullish, and then I'll tell you why I like have reservations, or like the more I think about it, like
Okay, go.
bullish, like this undermines the ad economy entirely, right? Like we're talking, because right now it's like website to ad marketplace to ad buyer, and then ad buyer is like, who can I like buy the cheapest or whatever, or like, and then the ad vendor's like, yeah, great, you said 10 cents, I'll put it on this website. Like it's just that economy is just very like, for monetization is just very like cheap, I guess. Like it's a sort of a race to the bottom. Like I feel like, popular sites will like get more money, but it's just sort of this like, and then the whole
Mhm.
privacy angle is also like very brutal to me, like this whole like, dude, these, we just have this whole entire, I don't know, like I paid 10 cents to get my ad on your website and I get to track you for the rest of your life. That seems unfair, right? Like I don't like that.
Mm.
This thing where it's just like, hey, oh, you have a thing? Let me chuck you some pennies. Like that seems awesome. I feel like it's this way to reprogram the whole economy of the web. And now any website, if enough people join this, any website can make you money. Like, I mean, I was making beer money on Coil, like that's not a
I know
lot,
Coil
but
was big
like,
enough to actually produce some bucks at one point, which was encouraging to me. And that was the penny system, which is the least interesting thing that this can do. To me, it's like think about Apple Pay. Apple
mm-hmm,
Pay rules. It's amazing.
yeah,
It's you just tap your phone at the fucking
beep.
Whole Foods and you got your thing. That it's proprietary. Guess who gets to use it? People with a credit card with a Apple device that's very
Mm-hmm,
expensive in a place that supports it only.
mm-hmm.
If this takes off, it's way more global and open than that. Imagine Apple Pay, but even easier and on everything. Totally not proprietary, just
Right.
built into browsers. That's great. This is awesome.
I just revolutionary, really. I mean, it's just like, and then like I feel like it's more private. I guess there's maybe a transaction or something there, but like, just this idea of like, um, I would be curious about the privacy model, but like, but like the fact that I can be like, hey, you know, you read this, we interacted. I didn't have to show you an ad. You didn't have to be tracked around the internet. I like get some
Yeah.
pennies for my effort. You get a cool article or video or whatever. Like that seems like a good exchange, right? What I do, the question I kind of have like today is like, is this sort of like multi-level marketing, like friends helping friends, is it that
Mm.
sort of system where like the popular people will get huge rich and the bottom tier people, will get only pennies rich, so I
I don't
do,
know. I don't know.
I guess like influencer sort of stuff, eyeballs sort of stuff happens. And then does that turn into like, I'm just going to only post rage baits because that makes my money chart go up, that I have questions about, but then there's maybe other systems that like we can, like Blue Sky's labeling system, like this guy's just a rage baiter, like just get him out. Like they're, like don't click any links from this person. They're terrible. And they're just trying to take your pennies. Or can I block websites that from the wallet level? But I don't know. I just think
Probably, yeah.
it's. I feel like it's shady
There's
to
a
like
lot of questions. A lot of
sign up
questions
for
for
like
sure.
GateHub today, but I do think like it is. If I was signing up for PayPal or something 20 years ago, I would have been like, oh no, man. Like I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know. Facebook tried to make its own currency too, like I mean, there's a lot of different people trying to, you know, whatever, capture your
That's why when
payments,
there's web
So,
standards involved, it's much better to think about. It's not just one company. It's trying to just be a standard. I guess
yeah.
crypto can try to say that too. But yeah, I guess my questions are a little bit like, let's say I gave $1 to daverupert.com or whatever because you promised not to show me ads. Who stores that information that I did it? Is it crypto in the sense of like, what's the technology behind crypto? These like ledger dictionary things or whatever we call
Yeah,
them.
the blockchains, yeah, but
Blockchain, is that what it is, and who hosts it, who has that information forever? Is that what it is, or does daverupert.com need to put that information in a database somewhere? Because there's a JavaScript API that says, hey, did this website ever give me $1, true or false, and it returns true, and that's why you don't put any ads there. How does it return true? What data source does it consult to return true is a little unclear to me, and I guess I
mhm.
should know that before I start espousing how cool all this is. But
Yeah, that would be like the question, or like what's maybe not clear,
it's a
but
combination of wallets. I think it's GateHub saying it's true. I think
yeah.
it's
But
the
wouldn't it be?
wallet.
Yeah, the wallet, I guess, stores that information. But I also love like because there's this pay aspect to it, like interledger pay, So I'm using the same wallet tech, right? But I can like give you an extra dollar. So it's kind of like it could be like a tip jar. It could be like unlock this Verge article, which
That
I'm
is it. I don't care about like I don't. It's not that I don't care, but tip jars and pennies have been tried a million times. It's not that interesting. It's
mhm.
fine to prove out the tech. It's more interesting to be like, what can I buy? What e-commerce opportunities are there that are real, actual moments where we know people generally do open their wallet, and locked articles are totally one of them. And I never bite on those things. I never bite on like, oh, there's a paywall. I hate to say it, but I'm like, oh, that's annoying. I cannot sign up for another publication right now. And part of it is the reason I don't want to isn't isn't 100% the money. It's 50% the money and 50% the crappy UX behind it. Because I know I'm going to, even if I sign up and give you the money, next time I come here, I'm going to get a paywall again because I won't be logged into it. Because I'll be on a different computer. It'll be because the cookies expired. It'll be because I'm on my phone. It'll be some reason. It'll be like, I paid you. Please, God, don't show me this
Yeah.
ever again, you know?
Yeah. Don't make me do the email flow again. I
And
don't
it
want that.
wouldn't if
Yeah.
it just is asking my wallet if I, the person, have paid you. Like that UX to me gets better, and that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I mean, I'm like, again, it's like I'm bullish on this, and then I'm also like, what are we getting into, But we got to shake it up. That's like that's where I was with Coil. It's like the current system is not great, or only a few people are winning. Like, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? I mean, shoot, dude. Like, what if it was like robots.txt, only robots with, the pay link, like, and then it's, hey, dude, Google is paying me to index my site. OpenAI is paying me to index my site. That would be cool. Can we have that?
Yeah, right,
Like,
right. I feel like that's related here.
like,
That kind of thing opens these doors because we're so early days. It does have this like feeling to me, and I've been wrong about this feeling in the past. But whatever, it's like, what if there's a what if moment? What if you decided to just be on the front lines of all this career wise? Like, what does that look like? Are you going to be so right that it's going to be awesome and that you can help the whole world doing this and maybe get yours along the way or not? I don't know, but
well,
it could be.
it's, these little apps, I made a little app last week, right, about grid paper. You know, I make $0, probably negative dollars, like from it. But like, I, wouldn't it be cool if that little app, which got, a couple hundred retweets or whatever, got a couple hundred pennies,
Yeah.
just for my effort, and then it's like up and running. And if it, that's probably a bad app because it's very like, I need it once every once a year, or something like that. But like,
Well, then make it $1. Like you can't hit print on this website until
yeah,
until you give the website $1. To me, that's way more interesting than the pennies.
Like, yeah, even just like, can you like, have a like, hey, support, and click a button. Like, I could have set up a whole coffee thing, Ko-Fi thing or whatever, and I looked at doing that, but then I was like, because it has the same, like, you have to hook this up to Stripe. It doesn't actually want to like take your money or whatever. It just wants to like be the interface, the JS for it, like,
Yeah, right.
And I just was like, I'm not setting up PayPal because I actually have to kill my PayPal. That's another story. But like, it's just this, yeah, man, like, I just wanted to like get, I don't know. How can we send pennies? Can we send dollars? Can we, like, what can we do? How can we make this great?
This is shaking it up is the right way to say it because we don't even know where it's going to go. It does seem like a big deal, though. All right, I want to do this before we're out. I know we're right at the end, so but Brecht wrote in because he's got a thing that he wants to push forward on the web that's very interesting. I met him over at CSS Day. He said he's met you before too. His website is Utility Bend. It has nothing to do with the city of Bend's utilities, which is confusing for me as a resident of Bend, Oregon.
That's funny. Yes. That's perfect. Yeah.
But he's, you might recognize him recently because he's got this long series on custom selects. He's like the custom select goat. He just has done some very cool stuff with it. An interesting guy, very smart. He's now trying to push forward a thing called Range Group. And it's kind of an open UI thing. Like he's trying to do the right path and go through OpenAI or not OpenAI.
Open UI.
Open UI. Jeez. Wow. Gross. Sorry, everybody.
I typed this into OpenAI. Please accept to HTML. That's good.
Yeah. It's basically like, there's a range input. Input type equals range. You get a little thumb on it and you can drag it around and it's a nicer UI than in certain circumstances. It's very nice. Maybe dragging between 1 and 100% or something. It can be the right UI. That's why it exists. slow clap everybody. I'm glad this exists. We got it in HTML5 like a million years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but it hasn't really improved since then. And we have seen people do weird crap with it. Even styling it kind of sucks. I think that is a separate conversation. What Brecht is talking about here with his what are we calling it? Range group is
Yeah.
basically like put more thumbs on it,
Mm-hmm.
like an arbitrary number of thumbs, and then you get range information. So the idea would be like, I don't know, I'm browsing homedepot.com for buckets or something, and I only want to see buckets that are between $4 and $11 or something. Then I can drag two sliders on the same slider to represent a range.
Mm-hmm.
That is clearly an interesting and useful idea. He's thought a ton about this. He's got a proposal for it. He's got an explainer. He's got a prototype that's made with web components. He's collecting feedback on it. He's writing to this Shop Talk show to have us talk about it. He's really trying to hit this 6 ways to Sunday to make it happen. And I will say that his demos are really quite good. So it's the basic one. It's the price ranges. There's steps is taken care of. You can have 4 on there. You could say like, what are my open hours as a restaurant? Well, we're open from 9 to noon and then 3 to 10 or something, and you can represent that all on the same selector. You can style it. There can be 3 because you can be like, what's a minimum, maximum, and ideal? That's interesting. And I think he's handling the styling too. So if you want it to show the number of what the minimum and maximum are right on the range slider, you can do that. These are demos that I've seen before that are full of hacks to do this. And this is like, let's do it the non-hacky way. Let's just do it with HTML. I really like his budget allocator example, which is imagine 3 range dots on the same range slider, but that makes 4 segments, and all 4 segments are, they're like, okay, how much of my monthly income goes to groceries versus rent versus other bills versus fun time, that kind of thing. And so you're dragging these 3 sliders around to represent 4 different like segments of it. That's very interesting. Does HTML need to accommodate that particular use case? Maybe not. But when you look at all the use cases together, you're like, okay, that's interesting.
Well, I love it. Well, and I'm just looking at it for the first time now. Somebody asked me literally last week, like, does anyone know of like a multi, range slider or whatever, like a min max range slider? And I wish I had seen this, but this is awesome. Just the web component, but it progressively enhances a minimum, a maximum, and then like
it does what a range group is it wraps multiple input types range, so it's not. It's not a new component necessarily. I mean, it's a new thing, but it's like it's not like just going to do nothing in browsers that don't support it. It's just going to be multiple individual input type equals ranges.
Yeah.
Which is a clever way to do it.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Like, yeah, you could even probably like delete the web component or like kill JavaScript and see what happens on the page, Okay, do that because I'm that guy.
No, Dave, you don't even have to. If you're on the page, he put a toggle right at the top.
Oh, geez. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we need, right? Like, this is cool. It would be cool. I mean,
I'm jealous of it. Don't you wish you had a feather in your cap like this? You probably were closer to having one than me, but like that like you did this,
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like kind of like Wilto can be like, I basically did responsive images, which is not really true, but it is kind of true. Like he was, he really put the effort in for a long period of time to get it, and Miriam Suzanne's behind all these other things. There's lots of people involved, so to give one person credit for these things is, I want to be careful, but it is cool to be like known as, the face of one of these technologies that really did do a lot of work to get it done. I'd like to see Brecht be the face of this one.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Well, I think this has sometimes whatever happened to paving the cow paths, Chris? We
Right.
used to talk about that. We used to talk about that, and we don't do that no more. This is great. Like, I think it's progressively enhances. That's cool. I think there is sort of like if you had a min and a max range slider, you can actually make the max lower than the min. So what do you do there? You know, like you created a fail state for the previous one. You know, so maybe but like clearly you can polyfill this. You know, so
Right,
like
right,
you
right.
know, like I feel like he has a good way to like. Not only can we just do we could also like we have a polyfill out of a box because we have a web component out of the box. You know, I yeah, I don't know. I hope it works. I hope it would becomes a thing. So I just we need more of these primitive UIs because people do bad jobs. So I might yeah steal his web component if if I ever encounter this situation. So or slim it down. I'm sure it's like pretty huge to accommodate all these examples. But like what maybe we just do the top and the bottom. We don't do the multis. But even that it, like seems cool. Like from a like you're trying to segment 100%. Like build a budget is sort of what he's like got in the example. Like could you I don't know. People do budgets. That's a pretty common internet activity. Like can you do that? Like what other examples are like that? Like
Well, it looks
sort
like
of
he's got
pie
lots of
charty kind
examples.
of things.
That's
So.
that's the difference between this proposal and somebody just being like, "Wouldn't it be cool if?" Wouldn't it
Hmm.
be cool if is fun too? But like to get an OpenAI or God dang it, Open UI page like this, you have to have done the research. You have to look at what people are doing out on the web and look what other design libraries are trying to do and figure out if this is actually needed or if you just had this little idea in your head. That's the
Hmm.
kind of research that's going to get people to move on this, and that's already done.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah.
Ant
Hopefully.
Design has it. UI Fabric has it. All this, he's already looked around, and Lightning Design System has one or whatever.
Yeah. What can we do it?
Do
Can
they
we?
though? I don't know.
I'm
I'm
sure
looking
every.
at the research, but yeah.
Oh yeah. There's usually they like look at them and see what systems have them in this. You know. I don't see it
Yeah,
here, but you'd have to go.
it's
Well,
there. I
almost
I
everyone
found it.
has
It
a
just looked.
range input, but does it have a dual range input? I think that's the question. So, yeah.
Oh, right,
So,
right. All
well,
right.
that's cool. Yeah. Hopefully, something moves on that. I need to get back into OpenUI, but I also value my mental health. So, just kidding. No, it's just time, man, time. How can I be a DM and make HTML? You can't.
Yeah.
I can't do them all. All right. Well, cool. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope your turkeys were great, and in America at least, and whatever you holiday, autumnal holiday you celebrated, harvest festival that you celebrated in your country. Be sure to star heart favorite this up. That's how people find out about the show. Follow us on one of the good ones, Mastodon or Blue Sky, and then join us in the Discord. That's where the party's at. And Chris, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Just jump show.com.